the roll call.
We will welcome our newest board member, Kasha Swope, to the board and her swearing in.
Yep.
You would repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Katarzyna Swope,
Do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We really are a board of this community, and to have another member of the community join us up here, it's quite the commitment. We thank you for being willing to undertake that, and we welcome you. And now, with one more member on the rolls, could you do the roll call, Ms. Williams?
Well, Mr. Lyons,
Present.
Mrs. Mizbach, Mr. Kashani,
Here.
Dr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. DeTullio,
Here.
Dr. Mihalik,
Here.
Dr. Meyer,
Here.
Mr. Moy,
Here.
Mrs. Swope.
Here.
Thank you.
Recognition of visitors. If there's anyone who would like to address the board on an agenda item, you may do so at this time. I think we have a lot of visitors out here for some other items. Rachel, student and staff recognition.
Thank you. Tonight we're going to start with student recognition. Richland Elementary School second grader Kieran Korthia-Kayan is ranked number 12 in the state in the First in Math Online program. He ranked first in Piaa and among top 50 players in the U.S. in 2019. So far this year, Kieran has 16,500 stickers. Now, First in Math is an online math program that is used by students sometimes in the lab, classroom, and at home, and students can earn stickers for every math activity that is completed. 8th grader Andrew Thomas earned first place in the annual Pine-Richland Middle School Geography Bee on December 11th. Andrew is now taking the online qualifying exam to determine if he will compete at the state level at the end of March. Eden Hall Upper Elementary 6th grade student Ryan Noir was selected to play the clarinet for Seton Hill University Youth Honors Concert Band. 9th grader Luke Kastner will be competing in the First Tech Challenge State Championship in February. Luke participates in a community-based FTC team called Mars Robotics, along with 9th grader Owen Anderson. The two also won the first place at robotics competition at our own Eden Hall this weekend. A.W. Beatty Career Center is sending 47 students, including 2 Pine-Richland seniors, to compete in the Skills USA district competition on January 20th. Luke Yowen will compete in the collision repair category, and Carolyn Curry will compete in the job skills category. High school varsity competitive cheerleaders competed in the PIA Competitive Spirit Championships this weekend in Hershey and ranked 9th in the small varsity division. They earned the spot after earning a silver medal at the Whippeal competition. The team also took first place at Whippeals in the small varsity division as well. The Trib is naming the top 25 standouts in football. All-stars include Miguel Jackson and Cole Spencer. Miguel is among the Whippeal's best pass rushers, and Cole emerged as one of the Whippeal's top passers. Wrestlers Nate Lucas earned his 100th victory on December 11th at Butler. Nate is committing to West Point, so congratulations. Staff news: Eden Hall librarian Beth Schenefeld and middle school librarian Kristen Rowe have been appointed to serve with the Leadership Institute for School Librarians. LISL offers experienced school librarians to help important initiatives or grant initiatives. Ms. Schenefeld's leadership project will focus on developing training the soon-to-be-released model curriculum for the Pennsylvania School Library Program. Mrs. Rowe will focus on improving the statewide communication network for the librarians. There were only 2 librarians two of only 16 across PA to be accepted. At the high school level, we have our teacher, Mary Ann Andressi. Work was featured in the Butler Art Center exhibit. She showcased a ceramic piece called Peony Mug, and this was one featured work of 57 artists and only 19 ceramic artists from around the U.S. Pine-Richland is recognizing 2 employees who served a combined 40-plus years in the district tonight. We want to talk about paraprofessional Marie Corelli, who began her career at Pine-Richland 20 years ago. Over those 20 years, she has served as an emotional support, life skills, and an instructional assistant, mainly at Aydin Hall Upper Elementary School and Pine-Richland Middle School. Prior to Pine-Richland, she served as an administrative secretary for the U.S. Provost Marshal in Germany for 3 years, and for 2.5 years, she could be found at neighboring St. Barnabas, serving as a certified nurse assistant. Those who know her best say she is most thoughtful, kindness, and empathetic individual who goes out of her way to make sure everyone feels welcome and loved. When difficult issues arise, she handles each situation with a calm presence. She says not having the day-to-day interaction with the students will leave a void in her heart. And in retirement, though, she does say she'll spend some time fly fishing in Pennsylvania and maybe eventually Oregon. And she hopes to visit all of her children more often, and who are PR graduates, along with herself, and her father was also a graduate. And she also has many other relatives here too, I found out are graduates. I saw a fellow graduate here as well, who was 1 year ahead of me. I'm just going to mention that. But she does really especially appreciate her family, who has been supportive over the years, and which is evident by their participation tonight. So I would love to call you to the podium.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Miller, members of our school board, and all you guests here this evening. I am honored to have been surrounded with incredible administrators, staff, and colleagues throughout my years here at Pine-Richland, which just also reiterate, also happens to be my father's alma mater, my alma mater, and my siblings' alma mater, and my children's alma mater, 4 generations. Each student whom I had the honor to work with over the past 20 years, they taught me the value of differences. Their individuality transforms our classrooms and hallways into a learning tapestry that's complemented by their differences. I am blessed and so very grateful to have had the opportunity to watch our kids mature, and they have become independent learners over the school year, year after year, and building those relationships that are going to always have a special place in my heart. And seeing these kids here still now, that warms my heart that we have children here at our school board meetings, and we're recognizing them. But guess what? Time is knocking on my door. Specifically, it's retirement time. So my goal is to embrace this time every day and continue to serve our community. I said I wasn't going to cry. And the bonus is every day is going to feel like a Saturday. And one special bonus I have to share that my daughter said, don't do it, but I'm going to. She gave me this little red box for Christmas, and it said on the card, Mom, this is a retirement moment for you, and it's a homemade gift. So I open up the little box, and she's telling me through that little test, you know those little tests that they have that says, pregnant, I'm gonna be a grandma. Katie, stand up, stand up. So my life is gonna be full. Again, you remember that void that you said? God filled it very quickly because I have been empty ever since I had my injury and I wasn't able to report to school because of that injury. I had a big void because I missed the students so much. because they're so much a part of my life. But they're never going to leave my heart. And I thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be here for 20 years. You'll see my face. It'll be in a different way, though. I'm going to serve. I might bring you a little biscuit. I might bring you a little cookie. But it'll be something from my heart. Thank you for everything. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Oh, I will. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Can't wait to go fly fishing.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. Good luck. Thank you very much.
We'd also like to share our appreciation of Laurie Jones, who is also retiring. She has served more than 21 years at the district and most recently as 7th grade science teacher. She also served as a 6th grade science teacher and a paraprofessional in her early years and a paraprofessional development secretary. Her colleagues say her innovativeness and willingness to experiment with different approaches made her an asset to her students. So thank you, and thank you for your service. Very appreciated. Also tonight, we annually appreciate our school board. Every January, districts around Pennsylvania take time to salute our 9 volunteers who spend dozens of hours leading schools. Now, you may have heard about the state's campaign called Piaa Public Schools. Success starts here. Now, the success does start here with the school district directors who play a significant role in creating an environment where successes can happen. They lead the organization, staff, students, and community with decisions they make each month. Each year, in appreciation, we bring the board a glimpse into an initiative or a program. So this year, the district is showcasing Rams Way, a district-wide initiative. I'd like to introduce Wexford Elementary teacher Joanna Furman, who can introduce our group tonight.
Thank you, Rachel. Good evening. My name is Joanna Furman, and I teach 2nd grade at Wexford Elementary. I'm here with 2 of my 2nd grade colleagues, Carrie Sherman and Kathy Geigel. Carrie from Hans Elementary and Kathy from Richland. And we, each of us, have one of our 2nd grade students here with us tonight to share some thanks with you for all that you do. A quick background, the butterfly, which you see at your spot, is a symbol used for the Prader-Willi syndrome, a rare form of autism with no cure. In September, Michelle Bruno, an English and theater teacher here at Pine-Richland High School, approached me. Basically, she rang me up and said, we need to do something. And she wanted to connect the community and the schools across the district with a project. And the project idea was to have the 2nd graders create butterflies with inspiring messages for the families and high school students as they performed The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to raise money for this cause. The 2nd graders took it from there. So we've brought some 2nd graders here to share with you what we did. So first, Kathy's going to come on up from Richland Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kathy Geigel from Richland, as Joanna said, and I brought with me tonight my student Aydin Rowe, who is going to share with you what we decided to write on the back of our butterflies for the families of children who had Prader-Willi syndrome.
In our class, we have learned that positive thinking is important. If you don't think you can do something, then it is really hard to do it. If you believe you can do something, then it actually helps you to do it. We have some special needs children at Richland Elementary School. We colored our butterflies for families that have special needs children. We wanted to encourage the families and the children with the positive thoughts, and so we wrote positive statements on our butterflies. This was a good reminder for us as we read them, and hopefully a good reminder to the families too.
Good evening, my name's Carrie Sherman. I teach second grade at Hance, and I brought a Ramsway expert with me. His name is Kyle Moore. He knows all about Ramsway. He demonstrates it every day in the schools. So you're going to hear a little bit about what he does each day and how Ramsway impacts Hance Elementary.
Hi everyone, my name is
Here, let's do this. Oops. You gonna hold it?
Hi everyone, my name is Kyle Moore and I'm a second grader at Hance Elementary. I'm excited to be here tonight to tell you all about the Ramsway. Ramsway is actually a good thing to do because it shows that you care not just about yourself, but also about other people. Ramsway means that your behavior is respectful, accountable, motivated, or safe in school. If we raise our hand when we have something to say, we are showing that we are respectful. When we practice our splash math facts on the Chromebooks or iPads each day, we are showing that we are accountable. Helping other friends when they need help is an example of being motivated. I actually enjoy doing this for the friends in my class. When we remember to walk in the hallways and not run, we are showing that we are safe. Ramsway behavior can happen anywhere, anytime. A great part of Ramsway is getting rewarded with Ramsway tickets and having a chance to win a special prize. Recently, I put a bunch of Ramsway tickets I was saving into the second grade ticket box. I think I just might be a lucky winner next time there is a drawing. I know you don't usually see us kids in school very often, but if you did, you would be very proud of our Ramsway behavior. Thank you for allowing me to visit you tonight. I feel really happy about school and I enjoy my education. Thank you for all the good decisions you make for me and all the other kids who go to Pine-Richland.
And finally, story from Wexford Elementary.
Good evening, school board directors. My name is Story, and I'm a second grader at Wexford Elementary School. Our class was also involved in the Butterfly Project, and we want to extend its message to you. You help students at Pine-Richland grow the Ramsway in all that you do. You help us be respectful when you make good rules for us that help us care for each other and become the best we can be. You help us be accountable when you give us all we need to learn and be successful. You help motivate us by cheering us on when we struggle and when we do well. And most of all, you keep us safe every day. When we are safe, everything is possible. So we brought you some Ramsway butterflies as a little reminder of how much we appreciate all that you do every day to make Pine-Richland the best place to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice job, everybody. There are some pictures on the screen of some of the students making the butterflies for the school board, so thank you very much. We have a few other folks here tonight that would like to share their appreciation with you as well. Tonight I'd like to introduce Pine-Richland Education Association President Christopher Vins.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. You guys did great. I am Chris Vins. I'm a third grade teacher at Wexford Elementary School, and I'm also the president of the Pine-Richland Education Association. I'm here tonight on behalf of our 335 members, which includes teachers, nurses, librarians, guidance counselors, and JROTC officers in the district. We want to express our thanks and appreciation for all your hard work, dedication, and service to the community. You've earned our respect. Kyle, help me out if I mess up on this, okay? Respect. We know through your you've earned our respect through your accountable actions, and we know you're motivated to keep us safe. Did I get it? As a sign of PREA's appreciation, a donation of $75 has been made to each of our school's libraries for the purchase of books, and this gift has been made in the board's name. Again, thank you for all your dedication and service. I know this is a volunteer job, and you guys do a great job with it, and you put in a tremendous amount of time and effort into it. So sincere thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Michael Lewis from the Pine-Richland Education Support Professional Association.
Good evening. My name is Michael Lewis. I'm the maintenance foreman for the Pine-Richland School District. I'm pleased to be here as a representative of the Pine-Richland Educational Support Professionals Association. The press must comprise a pair of educators, instructional assistants, library assistants, secretaries, personal care assistants, custodians, and maintenance personnel. On behalf of all of our members, I would like to express our most sincere thanks and gratitude and appreciation to each member and officer of the Pine-Richland School Board. Your dedication and commitment to our district is abundantly evident. You provide vision and leadership while making difficult decisions that affect the lives and futures of our students, our teachers, our school staff, and the quality of life in our community as a whole. We thank you for your service as you shape the future of our educational system. In honor of the school board, the Pine-Richland Educational Support Professionals Association will be giving a $500 scholarship to a deserving student as they graduate from our school system to pursue their continued education. So we thank you again for your service. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. It's my first time, forgive me.
You did great.
Next, I would like to welcome Aydin Hall Upper Elementary School's PTO President, Michelle Plowey. Thank you.
It's my first time too, so I'm nervous. Just on behalf of the parent-teacher organizations, we truly would like to thank you for your dedication and your time. The entire district benefits from your gift of time, your energy, and your enthusiasm. Your unwavering commitment to the students, staff, and initiatives does not go unwavered and unnoticed. Again, thank you for the many hours you've contributed. The key to success rests in individuals like you, who embody the spirit of commitment to community. And also on behalf of the PTO, I would like to acknowledge that the high school PTO will be making a donation to the Pine-Richland Opportunities Fund. So it's my pleasure to introduce Deb Lund from Prof.
Thank you so much, PTOs. My name is Deb Lund, and I am the Executive Director of the Pine-Richland Opportunities Fund. I am here representing all 18 trustees, and we're here tonight to thank you, as everyone has. This is not my first time here, and I was thinking about all of the times that I've stood before you and the things that I've said, and I didn't want to repeat those. But I found a quote online that said that public education is more than just the opportunity to learn basic math, basic science, English, and history. It's actually a platform for students to reach their potential. And I just wanted to thank you for your instrumental role in providing that opportunity to our community of students and staff. Every January, we all get the chance to celebrate the school board with our sincere thanks for all of you wonderful volunteers who serve our community so well. We thank you for your time and your energy and your counsel to the district. We thank you for taking on this job of governing the district and making the best decisions you can for our students. Prof recognizes that your immense contribution should not be understated. Your efforts benefit the community as a whole while serving the lives of each individual student, and I know that you sincerely focus on that. We thank you for being our friends, our neighbors, leaders, and fellow parents, and most sincerely, extraordinary community partners. Thank you so much. Rachel.
Thank you. That concludes our service or our planned program tonight. This is not my first time. I want to thank our retiree and the family for coming, and all of our students and teachers. Very appreciated. This concludes our program. I'll throw it back to you.
Thank you. It's so humbling, really. It's a misconception to say that this happens once a year. We're really thanked every day by the dedication of our workforce, our teachers, the devotion of our parents to the community, and by you kids, by doing a project like this and showing you care about the world around you and caring about others. So we are truly humbled to serve in this community, and we're privileged to do so here with you all in Pine-Richland. And now, much like Mrs. Corelli, I hear time knocking. It's bedtime for some of you in the front row. So thank you so much for coming tonight.
Hey, Dawn.
They did such a nice job.
Yeah, they
second
really-
graders doing that. That's unbelievable. It's really awesome.
Mr. DiTullio? Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just as a reminder, if everybody can use their microphones when they're speaking, so Mr. DiTullio can hear you, would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, he has the microphones on.
All right. We can resume item 1.06. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
We actually have
Five.
correspondence.
5. Thank you, Mark.
The board received correspondence from the PA Department of Education regarding Plan Con Part K, project refinancing for the issuance of general obligation bonds Series A of 2019 to refund Series A of 2014.
Thank you. Item 1.06 is a motion to approve the meeting minutes as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2.01 is the strategic plan update on the secondary program of studies. Dr. Pasquinelli?
It's down below. It's down below. There you go.
Okay. So tonight's a big night for us in the secondary program because it kind of officially kicks off our scheduling season. For our community, for our students, for our staff, it's a little different because they really kick off the scheduling season like September. They start thinking about modifications to this program of studies. So I'm going to kick it off and then turn it over to the high school and middle school staff. We talk a lot about ownership of different projects or initiatives, and seeing the full team here of high school and middle school staff, that means a lot. I mean, they have taken ownership of this process and the meaning behind it. We talk about right student, right course, and that's what this is all about. Hearing the reflections from the kids and the people that spoke tonight. You know, we talk for school districts, getting students ready for what's next. Life after high school is what it's all about, and you'll hear a lot of those themes come out tonight in the program of studies. So this slide here we show year after year. We just had a meeting with the school board about continuous change and improvement, and that's what happens with the program of studies. Every single year, this group and others look at this document and say, what can we do to make it better for the family experience, for the student experience, so they can make well-informed decisions about the courses that they take, whether that's in middle school or high school. We highlight a couple of the key areas, and the leadership team here will talk about those. At the bottom you see integration of career clusters into our graduation plan, and really working with families in a different way to help them understand how they can use this resource to help their children. And we'll talk about that in detail, about the continuous improvement that you'll see and hear about tonight. So high level, this, again, integration from different things that we do. We talk a lot about the in-depth program review. So the voice of those studies are in the program of studies now. We go through a process with our different departments. Recommendations come out of those studies, and a lot of those recommendations have to do with the experience that middle school and high school students have, and you'll hear that reference with the changes that are being recommended this coming school year. Departments a lot of times have different initiatives that they're working on, so the voice of the departments, you'll hear that within the program of studies. And then we talked about the continual improvement of the scheduling process. You know, we will start talking, we've already started, we'll continue talking to students about this is the time. We call it the heavy lifting time for scheduling. If they take their time, if they really use the resource that we have developed for them and have those conversations with their families, with their counselors, with their teachers, then they'll go through the next couple of months and they will be able to make confident recommendations based upon their strengths and their areas of interest for next school year. And if we do that well, then that gives us the time to prepare for staffing, the people that we need to support the students, and that gives us time to prepare the master schedule so students can get the courses that they're requesting. If that occurs, then we start the school year in a really good place, and you'll see some of the data that supports some of those changes as well. So I'm going to turn it over first. I think Dr. Sevilla is going to take it from here. And again, I want to thank the team for coming out and sharing. Each are going to take a couple of slides. We're going to move through quickly, but once we're finished, if there's any comments, questions, we would appreciate that from the board. And then later on this evening, we'll ask you to vote to approve these two program of studies, one from the middle school and one from the high school. Let's just click right.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As Dr. Pasquinelli mentioned, your approval tonight of our program of studies kicks off the official start to what I consider to be the most wonderful time of the year, our scheduling season. And we're really proud of the changes that we have made in the processes that we continue to refine regarding scheduling. One thing that actually has not changed now for a couple years is our graduation requirements. You will see these a couple different places in our program of studies. You will see a chart like this, but then there's some also information within the program of studies that details our academic standards and other graduation requirements like proficiency on the Keystone exams or an alternative assessment. There are things, again, that we are keeping the same, that we find very important and really helpful processes or parts of our process within the scheduling piece. Things like our students meeting individually with their school counselors. But as Dr. Pasquinelli mentioned, we're expanding what we're doing with our students and even our parents to highlight our program of studies. So much work goes into developing that document and making it a resource for students and parents. So we're taking time to really teach everyone how to use that document and all of the good resources that are contained within that document. So we are starting that with a parent workshop on January 27th. Historically, we have had our 8th grade families come over to the high school to learn about the scheduling process, but now we're focusing on the program of studies and actually doing a tutorial with them. And that process will be mimicked with our students as we go through their grade level meetings as well. You've seen a lot of numbers before associated with our scheduling process, and we are continuing to look at the number of course changes that we make each year. But each year we want a little bit more information, and we want to make sure that our behaviors are changing if needed based on what we're seeing in these numbers. So now we've started to look at the percentage of students in each class that are requesting schedule changes, and we're also looking at the number of courses that we offer versus the number of courses that we run each school year. So not only is it right student, but we want to make sure we have the right course for that right student as well. I believe you've looked at some data a little bit more in depth than what you have in front of you, and I will say our numbers are trending in the right direction, but there's always learning opportunities every time we look at this data. We have kept now historical data since the 2013-2014 school year, and each year we get a little bit better with refining our processes and learning from those numbers. Mrs. Bowman now is going to talk a little bit more about the integration of our career clusters into the program of studies.
Good evening, everyone. So in the portion that I am sharing with you this evening, just as Dr. Seviller shared, there are some things that remain the same, and there are some things that we are always looking to improve. So Dr. Pasquinelli doesn't always take credit for the leadership that he provides our team as well. And this is one of the opportunities when we were meeting and talking about the graduation plan that our school counselors use as a teaching tool with our students. One of the things that we wanted to add this year was our career work clusters. And so what you see, the screen going through right now, is just an opportunity for students and families right within the graduation plan. As they log into that document on the website, they will actually be able to use that information to continue to build and grow the graduation plan and make it specific for each individual student. So, for example, if a student is interested in a particular cluster, they can add those career cluster interests to the graduation plan to drive those discussions, not just with their families, but with school counselor and teachers as well. And so they're all listed there. There are links to resources for families as well within the document. So we're excited to add, even though there might not be a lot of changes to the document, each year we're refining that process and making sure that it is a tool for families to use as they're making decisions for their child and their career at Pine-Richland High School and then beyond. The next part of our graduation plan, the very next page, is the time management planner. This is really the second year that this is included in our program of studies. And the best part about this is I walked in and saw the graduation portrait behind all of you and thought about Dr. Miller's message to our families this month, and then building principles, we also shared a similar message with our students recently. We really are trying to help our students to focus on their time management and thinking about what that looks like for them in connection to the choices that they're making for themselves within that program of studies. It also has become a message that our teachers are taking to discussions that they have with students in the classroom as well. So for example, if a student is thinking about some additional challenges for themselves, maybe through an honors course or through an AP course, we're asking teachers to talk about this time management planner with students. So as students are thinking about their life in school, they're also making decisions based on what they have committed to beyond the school day as well. This is also an opportunity for us to continue to remind our students about the importance of health and wellness. And one of the connections to that, for example, is our school start time and the change there as well. So it really is tying all of those pieces together into user-friendly pieces of information for our students and our families to guide discussions. The department pathways are still embedded within the document, and again, a piece of information that really has become part of this time of year within the classrooms. So what our teachers are doing, for example, if I'm a science teacher, I'm taking a look at the science pathways, and maybe I teach sophomores, and so one of the discussions is going to be this department pathway and the opportunities that are available to our students in science for them to learn and to grow based on their interests. So it really does tie everything together. And then the final piece, it's later on in the presentation, but I'm going to jump to it and then come back. The other thing that I wanted to mention before we turned it over to Dr. Kristofic and some information about our business department, I wanted to just take a moment to thank you. I know that there were a lot of folks here giving their appreciation tonight, and one of the opportunities for us to thank you is continuing to support the crosstown agreement that we have with Mars Area School District and their high school. As I was preparing for this evening and looking at numbers over time for Pine-Richland High School students participating in our ROTC program, our numbers have been and remain to pretty consistent over the 6-year span that I've been at the high school. And what has happened is, in adding the opportunity for students from Mars to join our students every day, we have not only hit that 100 student number, but we continue to surpass it as well. And it really is an exciting opportunity. Each morning, our students are in the lobby greeting their friends from Mars. They come into the building, and they really have become part of our Pine-Richland High School family. So thank you for continuing to support that. It's a tremendous addition to the high school. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kristofic.
Good evening, everyone. This last school year, K-3 started working on their written curriculum, and they've spent a lot of time developing and working with one particular website, code.org, and they are beginning to learn about like happy maps and how to drag and drop these skills. So this is building upon our curriculum. We have In-Service Day coming up on the 20th, and we're going to continue to work on that. On the 29th, our middle school 4 to 8 will be working in and in building in more coding in our written curriculum as we move forward here. We are also working on recommendation number 8. Our app design course will kick off here in a couple days. It's just getting started. Game development, we're still working on that particular portion under recommendation 8 for the 21-22 school year. And one of the changes that we really worked on is the cybersecurity from our program review, our in-depth program review. We are now going to embed a lot of the skills that students need to learn about integrity and ethics in doing research, learning about recent threats and different. Maybe there's a new type of cyber threat within business or within on emails, and how to use these tools to our advantage. So we're going to be continuing to work on basic security protocols and digital citizenship. So these are a lot of really good practices that we're using and implementing, and continue to make good progress on our recommendations through the program review. Within the middle school, we have several areas of change that we'll talk about. Mr. Menzinger is going to talk a little bit about our ELA. I'll jump forward here to talk about our social studies change here that we had through our in-depth program review. We are following their recommendations, very similar to our math pathways, where we have the elimination of our pre-AP courses, but we are now having American history compacted, extended, and so those criteria that we're using is very similar to math. We're looking at document-based questions, grades, star assessments, PSSAs to make our recommendation for the right course for the right student. And the part that I'm excited about is moving away from the pre-AP. We are going to be more inclusive and adding between 15 and 20 or more students within high-level type of National History Day, Socratic Circle type opportunities for more students. So I think this is a really great opportunity for Pine-Richland Middle School.
Good evening, everyone. To kind of backtrack from something that you'll see in the courses in our program of studies at the middle school, this is a graphic that you'll see, and it's really a through line that has now come into the middle school, which is our career and education work standards that we are focusing on in a variety of different ways. So it started last year with our guidance department, really taking the lead and going into classes to get kids acclimated to different career interests that they might have. So some of your students may have seen their career cluster surveys where it kind of gives them some attributes or suggested positions they might be interested in when they go beyond Pine-Richland High School. And so what this is now doing is becoming something that's a little bit more a part of our everyday experience. So this year our 7th graders had a team day where we had professionals come in from a variety of different professions to give kids access to what they could do in the future. And it sets a purpose for some of the things they do and connects to their daily work. And so you see some of the questions that are up there. The key one for us in the program of studies is the last question, which is how will these answers to the questions above guide them in selecting their courses at the middle school level and as they transition to the high school. And so our courses have been a little bit more elaborated on through our social studies revisions, and then another one that I'll talk about, but really we're grounding our conversations with kids around their path toward the future, what that looks like at the high school and beyond. And then one other change that has come up, as Dr. Pasquinelli said, we consider this program of studies probably starting at the beginning of this school year, even though it doesn't come to fruition for kids. Midway through they see it and then they live it the following year. And one of those changes has to do with our English department. So up until this year, and now with the social studies recommendation, all of our pre-AP courses at the 8th grade level have transitioned through their various program reviews into being a compacted extended course, which gives kids access to the same curriculum, whether they're in the current or compacted extended class. But the compacted extended class allows kids to deepen their understandings and move at a faster pace. And so as we entered the ELA program review, we sat with our 8th grade English teachers to say, is it feasible and do you see it possible for us to move in that direction next year so that there isn't one pre-AP course kind of still there while the others have moved to the compacted extended. And our program review was moving in that direction. We felt that way as we started looking at some of the research and started talking to our teachers on the committee. And after talking to our 8th grade English teachers, they have felt comfortable moving in that direction and are moving to make that change for this upcoming school year ahead of the program review so that next year all 8th grade classes will have the compacted extended moniker in philosophy as opposed to one having pre-AP and the other one's having compacted extended. All right, and I'll pass it off to Mr. Salopek.
Good evening, everybody. We are really excited this year to offer an opportunity for our students. We have a group of juniors that are going to be traveling over to the middle school to meet with middle school students, 8th graders, and talk about the scheduling process. They're actually going to sit down with the students in the auditorium, show them the program of studies and some of the really cool features that it has to offer. In addition to that, we're going to, in the next few weeks, offer smaller breakout sessions for the kids to meet with different groups of high school students to take a look again at the program of studies in a little bit deeper view so they can understand the features that it has, but then also some of the opportunities coming into 9th grade. Dr. Spiller mentioned it a little bit earlier. Something new this year also, the tutorial for parents coming up on the 27th. We plan on hosting the same session in 2 locations where we can break into smaller groups. We have technology available for our parents, students, and families that would be coming in that evening to actually flip through the program of studies with us. Our administrative team will be there in attendance to answer any questions, to provide some clarity. So we're really excited about that opportunity. You can see in the middle the individual student meetings. That's something that happens annually. However, I hope that you can see that we want our students to be informed when they're coming to these meetings with their school counselors at the secondary level. We want them to have the resources at their fingertips, which we believe this program of studies really does for them, but to be educated and knowledgeable about what they want their future to look like. Their voice is really important, obviously, in driving those decisions. And we're excited to present you this program of studies tonight for those opportunities for our kids. Next up, Mr. Pushkis will show you about some of the cool features that it has to offer.
So they saved the sick guy for last. I don't have a lot to say, but I will say we're all very proud of the product that we put out every year in the program of studies. We do have two versions, one PDF, so you can just kind of scan through it in a traditional style, and then the interactive program of studies that has the book feel to it. So if you have a touch screen computer, you can flip through it, or a tablet, or on your device and flip through everything. So thinking about thanking the school board for their service and all that you do, the program of studies takes a long time to flip through, so you could have some fun with that. But just thank you for supporting the programs and the opportunities that we have for our students. It really is a culmination of everything we do here at Pine-Richland. Thanks.
Okay, the only couple things I'd add, we've continued to do this with trying to add little video clips for our students and families as well. So if there's a course of interest, instead of just relying on perhaps word of mouth or just reading the summary that's there, they can see a little video clip of some of the learning activities that have occurred, and that may spark some interest or spark some additional questions that they have for when they have those important meetings. We'll take any comments, questions at this time, and that concludes our presentation.
I just want to thank you for closing the circle on the in-depth program review and highlighting the areas where it's impacted the program of studies. To see, now that we've, those of us been on the board a few years and seen that cycle happen, it's nice to see that end fruition where these new courses that we heard talked about and suggested from the community and came through that process, they're now getting into the program of studies, and we're seeing the effects of that. So thank you for that.
Could you tell me, and I don't know if this is for Mr. Minsinger or Dr. Krasofik, the change from pre-AP to compact and extended in both ELA and American history? Could you talk a little bit more about what drove that in terms of data and how will you know if you're successful, if that was the right move? What are you guys looking to accomplish there?
So it's been driven out of, at least to begin with, the other program of studies that started with math and science and now social studies that have kind of led to that. So the way I sort of explain it to people is kind of twofold. So there's still a need to have a sort of accelerated course in the sense that it gives enrichment and deepening exposure to kids who are ready to advance beyond that. So the best example in social studies is National History Day, right? So in pre-AP social studies, they have a National History Day experience. It's a different project than what the kids get in their Social Studies 8 course. The thing that we're finding, though, especially at the middle school level, is trying to provide an equitable experience to all kids. So kids maybe in Social Studies 8 current would have a component of that project, but maybe not get the full extent of it. So because the kids in that higher level course still need that push, they don't need a separate course, though. So the core idea is that they'll have the same base curriculum, but that the kids who are basically in the top 50% of that class will have the ability to have something more deeply enriching, give them more opportunities for projects that maybe the kids in the lower 50% can't have or have access to because they need to spend more time on the core concepts, but that they all have access to the same curriculum so that everybody has a common experience, and we can use data to compare how kids are making progress. And so we measure those things, whether it's by grades. We do survey students with our focus groups, with our principals focus group that we have every quarter. And so those are some of the things that we consider. If there's anything you want to add.
I would just, really, when we think about data, what do we have to measure? PVAS is the one that comes to mind. I mean, that is a measure of student growth within those quintiles. And we can see historically where we had students in different quintiles that weren't growing at the rate that we would like to see them grow. Modifications to math pathways, we've seen some improvements through that. we see that opportunity through ELA and then that overlap with ELA and social studies as well. So I think we'll have some good data points to tell us whether or not that's as effective as we believe it's going to be.
Yeah, I think I would add that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the next course in sequence following 8th grade compacted extended would likely be Honors 9. So no different than pre-AP leading into Honors 9. So the rigor of that course, it's a lot of it is tied to the name change for consistency and clarity and understanding, as opposed to the rigor and readiness for next course.
Okay. All right, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, sorry, just a couple things to add, because we had a joint meeting earlier, but you're hearing some of the language. So we see the connection in the in-depth program review that Dr. Campbell mentioned. We see that actively changing what's available. You see a team that Dr. Seviller described some of the data points and what is measured, what is different. Fewer course schedule changes, which means staffing is a more accurate process. There's a lot of work that has gone into that. In the Baldrige measures, you'll hear about the CEW, the Career Education Work Standards, and how we're meeting those criteria. So again, a lot of the pieces we talked about at the joint committee meeting, we see parts of that demonstrated here with this work.
Just one last thing that I neglected to talk about, that this ties back into Dr. Campbell's point about the integration of the in-depth program review recommendations into the classroom, into the program of studies. This came out of the study in social studies. And what the team of social studies teachers have been talking about is how does this integrate into the day in, day out life of kids within the classroom. So they've taken the image, and then with the help of Mr. Clack, they've made it interactive. So the concept is, if there's a concept around one of the 10 themes, then you can talk to the students about which of those 10 themes we're going to be focusing on. Within the C3 framework, where's our area of focus? What part is it the United States, Pine-Richland, country, world? So really to think about with students, as you introduce a learning experience with them, how does this vision and philosophy integrate into that learning experience? So again, that study to recommendation to implementation to change and experience in the classroom is what the program of studies and the in-depth program review are all about. So we just wanted to highlight that's something we've been talking about. It's coming closer to a final draft, but that's where it is now.
Yeah, so since Dr. P did that, Mr. Salopek's a part of that team. This is the kind of stuff that gets us all, excited about things. But in addition to living the 10 themes and the C3 framework, which is the second light green circle, it's how can social studies educators take these key concepts and embed them then in their lesson planning. So how do we make it, concrete? How does the rubber meet the road in terms of lesson planning and what that means for students? And so this is a huge, it's an animation, but the concept of taking a vision philosophy in a department and turning it into something practical with instructional planning is huge. Now we have to engage the entire department and make that happen. But that ties right in to the January 20th in-service for that group. So some really innovative thinking in how to make that actionable.
Any other comments? Thank you. Thank you all so much. Tremendous, tremendous job. We appreciate it every year. And it does keep getting better as we expect it to. So thank you.
Okay, I'll take the next one. Okay, the next item is just a brief update on the graduate portrait. We have 164 parents, students, staff, community members who have accepted the PR Graduate Portrait Challenge. Again, sort of a goofy way to try to take something like the graduate portrait and give people who want to engage in it the opportunity to do something. And so we're appreciative of that group of 164 for clicking the link. But one of the elements of that, for those who participated, is these ideas of, and in rank order, what's coming out is exercise is number 1, nutrition is number 2, sleep is number 3. Stress management and sleep are sort of closely aligned there. But those who participate have to go through the exercise of rank ordering these ideas. And again, our hope over the next 4 months is that we'll take each of the dimensions of the graduate portrait and do something with our communication so that we're increasing awareness for everybody, but then we're giving a two-way opportunity for them to click the link and join the challenge. Later this week, we'll send just to the ones, however many at that time, who have signed up. But if they've signed up, we'll send them an encouraging follow-up. We'll say, here's how we've got, thanks for doing this, blah, 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 stay focused on your goals, all the normal things that you would hear in January in terms of health and wellness and New Year's resolutions. So again, next month we'll move to a different dimension, and then over the course of January through April, the full portrait will be laid out to our community.
Has the deadline passed?
Deadline is not passed.
Okay.
There are always opportunities to engage.
Great.
So please click the link and tell a friend.
Thank you. Item 2.03 is review of the school board goals under the strategic plan. As part of the strategic planning process, we committed as a board under the long-term goals to conduct annual school visitations, but not just to conduct visitations, but to align those visitations to looking at specific elements of programming, especially those elements that may be tied in other parts of our strategic plan. So as part of this, an update, you all know we visited the high school and Hance Elementary in November. Saw a lot of illustration of Ramsway and implementation and engagement with students around that. We saw the MTSS process up close at Hance in I think a way that brought it to life for a lot of us who'd have heard MTS talked about, but could really live it and see it. And in-depth program review recommendation, implementation in math and science. We're going to continue that vein this month on January 24th at Aydin Hall Upper Elementary School and Richland Elementary School for our second round of visits, which we know will be equally tightly aligned to specific elements that we're talking about in the boardroom. So we hope everyone can be there. I know you've got a full agenda for us on that day.
Okay, so thank you for that, and then I'll go into the next one. Is
Please.
that good? So prior to this meeting, we had a joint committees meeting, and as a part of the strategic plan, this will be the first year that we submit a review of our organization to the Mid-Atlantic Alliance for Performance Excellence. So this concept fits under the Baldrige Performance Excellence Program. It's a national program that helps organizations of different types. So school districts are part of that. Healthcare is the largest sector using the Baldrige Performance Excellence Program, but it's an opportunity for our district to continue to improve and to receive feedback of areas of strength and opportunities for improvement. So there's a very brief overview presentation attached here. This is a topic that we've been, the point isn't Baldrige, so the point is in-depth program review. The point is a 10-year capital funding plan. The point is how do we use financial measures to make good decisions in the future? How do we staff our building? So it isn't the title, it's all of the things under the surface that help our organization become more effective and pursue our mission. So as always, anybody have any questions, I'm happy to talk about this.
Thank you. Mr. Kashani, Finance.
Item 3.01, motion to approve the financial reports dated November 30th, 2019, and paid accounts for December, January in the amount of $5,992,805.77 as listed.
Motion's been made and seconded. Okay.
Discussion. I was just going to make mention, there's a note there, accounts payable checks cannot be cut due to 1099s. This was an e-finance related FIS topic, so that's why that note is there.
Actually, we ended up running them shortly after all of the reports were already submitted for the board agenda, so all is well.
Thank you for the update. Do we still have Greg? Do we know if...
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. It helps to know for my cadence on the voting, Greg. You're about 10 milliseconds behind. Any further discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3.02, motion to approve the budget transfers in the amount of $20,644 as attached.
Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3.03, motion to exonerate the local real estate tax collectors for Richland Township and the Township of Pine for the 2019 tax duplicate and to turn over the 2019 delinquent tax listings to the Jordan Delinquent Tax Service for collection.
Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3.04, motion to approve the 2019 Pine-Richland School District Property Tax Rebate Program Resolution as presented.
Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3.05, motion to approve the donation of 60 used marching band raincoats to the Light of Life Rescue Mission in accordance with policy 622, Gaspy Statement 34.
Second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3.06 is just a reminder that there are some Finance Committee meetings on February 10th at 6 and April 6th at 6. And guess what we'll be talking about? Budget and capital funding plan.
Thanks, Mark. Dr. Meyer, academic achievement.
Item 4.01 is a recommendation to approve the 2020-2021 high school program of studies and middle school program of studies as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I can't hear it click, Dr. P. I hate to vote on it without hearing and seeing Mike's face light up at the.
It's there. Sound off because of that other video. When you get home this evening, once Rachel sends that out, feel free. I know Mr. Shawnee enjoys that experience.
I'm flipping
You are.
right now. I can't stop.
No, you can't.
Really appreciate the presentation tonight, too. Any other comments? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4.02 is a reminder of Academic Achievement Committee meetings. An Academic Achievement Committee is scheduled for May 4th, 2020 at 6 p.m. The in-depth program reviews for music and English arts will be presented. This is an off night and no school board meetings will follow the committee meeting.
Thank you, Carl.
Yep.
Buildings and grounds, Mr. Tullio, if I can, I'll just walk through this. Item 5.01 is a motion to approve the purchase of custodial equipment at a cost of $18,325 through CoStars.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5.02 is a motion to approve the rebid of site work for the Field 6 project.
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded. I know we have Mr. Zimmerman here tonight with us.
Sure. Just like to make a few comments on the Field 6 project and the stadium. So wanted to thank you for your support on this project. I know that this was one of the original projects on the athletic field study from 2016. It also was part of our 10-year capital plan. We didn't get around to getting this completed last year, but really appreciate the support in getting this on the books for this year and getting the planning going. Wanted to reach out to you and let you know that we met with 6 of the teams that are going to be using this field from just the high school. So in addition to them, the middle school will probably be using it sometime. There is a lot of excitement about this field. And I wanted to let you guys know that between the soccer teams, the football team, boys and girls lacrosse and field hockey, they were really excited about this field and the support that you're providing on it. So I wanted to say thank you on that. There are 3 components to this project, And so this is one part here is the rebid. So one component is the competitive bid for the site work. That'll be all the removal of the turf at the stadium, and then all the prep work at the Field 6 location. That's going to be a competitive bid process. And the other two parts of it are going to be through a cooperative purchasing program, and that'll be for the turf and for the lighting. So all of those are going to be executed concurrently. We're getting bids in for the cooperative purchasing, and then the full competitive bid for the site work. So again, thank you for that support, but just wanted to give you some updates on those projects.
So let me add to that just briefly. So the March 2nd board meeting is the board meeting where we hope to have all of the parts and pieces, all three of those components, everything together for board action. But because of the timelines, we will not have all of that information at the February 10th combined meeting. So we will bring forward February 10th everything that is available at that time, and then we will share through a weekly update all the other details, so there's plenty of time to ask any follow-up questions, so that when we get to March 2nd, the board is informed and ready to take action.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. If you could stay where you are, Mr. Zimmerman. Item 5.03 is a motion to approve the Pine-Richland High School roof replacement as attached.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Zimmerman, any color for us here?
Sure, absolutely. So just wanted to touch on some points for this roofing project. So Micah Lewis is here. I wanted to thank him. He and Bruce Reamer walked at least 15 different vendors on the roof for this project. So even though this was a cooperative purchasing, we kind of handled it as a negotiation as well. You're allowed to do that under the cooperative purchasing program. It gave us some leverage with these bidders or the quote suppliers, and it really let us dictate what we wanted, and you know, it also helped us drive down the cost for our insurance providers. So you all are aware that this is going to be covered under insurance proceeds, and we get a like with like roof with insurance. But I wanted to just let you know some of the extras that we got. In addition to getting the replacement roof, we were able to get a 30-year warranty on our roof. The roof that we have now would have been an original 20 years, so we got a better roof. We're getting a full ice and water shield underneath that, so we'll have less leaks. In addition, we're getting a brand new gutter system as part of this. So these are all things that we needed that we're going to hit the 10-year capital plan sooner or later. And so I wanted to just point those out. So that's on the metal side. On the rubber side, we're also getting a rubber roof replacement in certain areas of the school. The main portion of that is in the atrium where the cafeteria is at. And we were able to also upgrade that roof for a small cost. So part of the that we're asking for tonight for approval is $134,200 to upgrade that roof from a 20-year roof to a 30-year roof. That'll put us in a position where our metal roof and the rubber roof will be matching for the amount of period it's under warranty. So it's, and that portion of the roof was going to cost us about $1.2 million in the year 2023 and 2022, 2023. So we're actually benefiting from, you know, this occurrence happening, and so we're able to put that money back in the general capital fund. So I just wanted to point those areas out, that we're actually getting some nice benefits from this. Even though it's been a lot of work in getting it done, we have a vendor that we've vetted pretty hard, and we're confident in. A lot of these guys that are going to be working on the roof are going to be local contractors. So some are from Wexford, some are from Washington, PA. So we're pretty confident in the product that's been selected.
Just to add, significant, obviously, scope of work. Originally, there had been discussion around parts of 2 summers, and that may be what happens. Maybe parts of this summer and next summer, just to manage the scope of work. Mr. Zimmerman did mention that there may be a possibility of compressing the work into a 6-month window. Is that correct? 6 months?
That's correct, yes.
But again, those are all have to be things that we would learn more about in terms of the pace of work. We will also have this going on at the time that the the field work is being done and the replacements that we talked about for turf. So a lot is going to be happening on this campus as soon as commencement is over.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate the diligence, Mr. Zimmerman and Mr. Lewis. I like to see warranties that extend beyond my professional life expectancy also, as I'm sure you do. All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5.04 is a motion to approve the proposal submitted by Eccles to review our major athletic projects.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I had a question. I think unless somebody's going to talk about this, and I don't know how well I'm being heard, but the scope, I'm a little confused as to, are they doing a full review of everything or just specific projects?
This is Brian Miller speaking, Greg. It's just the major projects. So as we talked about at Buildings and Grounds, we want to ensure a more accurate forecast of the financial implications of the project. So what's contained here is Mr. Pappas from Eccles would do an extremely close and thorough look at the rotation of the main gym at the high school. That has an impact on the locker room areas and the storage areas across the hall from that which is the current weight room area, and also a study of the green gym, which would move to a 2-floor. So we had numbers in the 2016 study, but as we've drifted from 2016 to now, not only the estimate of the project cost, but also the practicality, the feasibility, if you will, of the work and what that means for all the mechanical and other systems. So it's a very deep look at only a few high-dollar projects within that plan. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. As I was reading it, I wasn't sure because it talked about the gym, but I didn't see anything else really mentioned, and I was wondering what was included because I didn't see anything spelled out. So the amount of engineering going into that as a relook is pretty significant.
Yes.
Is this felt that? I know we wanted to relook and try to get more updated costs based on inflation and things like that, but are we feeling that the original design was in error and that's why we're doing such a deep look, or we're just doing it just to make sure?
No, I don't think
the money's well spent. I will say that based on the amount of money we're investing, but it does seem like a huge investment when we've already paid for this engineering service one time.
At the time of the 2016 study, there was not that. The attention of that study was, I would say, more schematic in big picture look at projects with cost estimates included, not to the level of designs, mechanical systems, et cetera. So this is a really deep look at what we anticipate being significant expenditure. So we really need to be confident and assured that the projects are feasible, appropriate. What are all of the seen and unseen elements of those projects, just so that we can feel more confident with recommendations or decisions about timing, scope of work, et cetera.
Okay. Thank you.
And Greg, this is Mark. Fair point. And I'm not sure if you had the chance to look at the attached document, but it does get into the proposed scope of work, and it is a lot more granular than what was done in 16.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, and I just wanted to make sure that was clear because, I mean, the amount of expense is pretty significant.
Yeah, and it does say that this is going to be billed hourly, not to exceed 19 grand, so it could come in less.
All right, thanks.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
just while we're on that topic, so the other piece that we did talk about in the 10-year capital funding plan was some of the numbers that we had identified and then mapped out, we held constant over the course of that 10-year period. And so the challenge is, are we anchoring to numbers that were wherever they were in 2016, and where have they fallen or been out? So as a part of the capital funding plan, the smaller projects are being reviewed as well to see if there's some, inflationary factor or some multiplier that's appropriate to ensure we have better projections.
Thank you. The next item is simply a reminder of the Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting on March 2nd, 2020, and that should preview and have results of the bid work that we're doing. So for a detailed look at that, we'll discuss those in committee for approval during the full board meeting on March 2nd. Dr. Campbell, Student Services.
Item 6.01, we have a motion to approve the student attendance and application of the Student Discipline Code for the PR Forensics team to travel to Bloomsburg, PA in March to compete in the state forensics tournament as described in the attached form, with a cost to the district of $4,500, estimating that 6 to 15 students will participate.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6.02 is a motion to approve the student attendance and application of the Student Discipline Code for the Air Force Junior ROTC students to travel to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, participate in a drill competition in March as described in the attached request form, with a cost to the district of $0.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6.03 is a motion to approve the student attendance and application of the Student Discipline Code for the PR Cheerleaders to travel to Hershey, PA to participate in the PIAA State Competitive Championships Thursday, January 9th through the 11th, as described in the attached form. So I guess they did travel in...
It was a retroactive, yeah.
Retroactive, okay. And the cost of the district was $6,300, and they qualified on January 4th during the WPAL qualifier.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
So how'd they do?
They took 9th in the state.
Congratulations. Okay, and item 6.04 is a motion to approve the student attendance and application of the Student Discipline Code for a middle school student to travel to Harrisburg, PA in March to participate in the PA State Geography Bee as described in the attached form, with a cost to the district of $556.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, is a motion, 6.05 is a motion to accept in accordance with Board Policy 702 for donations with sincere gratitude, a donation from the PR Girls Lacrosse Booster Organization. They are donating 50 Boathouse long jackets with a total cost of $4,850. So thank you for that donation.
Second.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? The motion carries with our gratitude. Thanks, Ben. Dr. Mihalik, Staff Services.
Thank you. Item 7.01 is a motion to approve the personnel and supplemental items as attached.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7.02 is a motion to approve John Slick for a sabbatical leave for restoration of health in accordance with Board Policy Number 338 for the second semester of the 2019-2020 school year.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7.03 is a motion to approve the attached contract with UK International Soccer for providing 2 middle school girls soccer coaches for the 2019 to 2020 fall season, which would make this a retroactive action.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 7.04 is an information item. Staff Services Committee meeting is scheduled for April 20th, 2020 at 6 p.m. A hiring update will be provided. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Mr. Moy.
Item 8.01 is a informational item. A joint operational service student committee meeting is scheduled for March 16th. The topic of discussion is redistricting.
Thank you, Matt. Item 9.01 is an action item, a motion to appoint Mrs. Kasia Swope to a 1-year term as a representative on the A.W. Beatty Career Center Joint Operating Committee.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Thank you, Kasia. It would have made it easier back in December if you told us you would have just come on this. We would have had that decision locked up really quickly. Thank you. We really appreciate it. I hope you find it as rewarding as I know Mrs. Misbeck does.
Already had the orientation meeting for the new members, so everything is really looking good.
You are going at 60 miles an hour, so fantastic. All those in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.02 is just an information item. The School Board of Directors directory and contact sheet. Item 9.03 we've highlighted already. I want to thank the community in general, those who attended, and for the engagement. It matters, and I thought it was a good meeting, slightly different format. I welcome your feedback. You might want to do it now, so in 2 years it's fresh in your head. So feel free to drop an email, and we'll look it back up and reflect on that if and when the situation arises again. But I was happy with the changes we had made since the last time we did that. Finally, item 9.04, we would like to schedule a board retreat tentatively on Tuesday, February 18th from 5:30 to 7:30. Dinner would be provided. This workshop will finalize our required Act 55 training for new and returning board members. How's that date look? Any hard stops?
I'm good.
I just need to find a babysitter and I'm good.
I'm holding that date for a trip to Maryland, but it's not firm. So just, if I can't make it, I can't make it. I'll try to steer my business colleague to another day.
And just so you know, I was going to be reaching out to you to help plan some of the scenarios like we did. So, because it's a similar we can do it in advance if you're not there, but.
Yeah, we can plan for that date, and I will do my best to rearrange my trip. So.
Thanks, Mark. All right, item 10.01, reports.
Just on behalf of SLT, we extend our appreciation as well, not only to you, but to your families. The time you give is also a sacrifice that you make with family and other responsibilities you have. So we've talked about it many times. It is hard to find high-performing organizations that sustain high performance that do not have a governance structure or board that is committed to that work. And so Mr. Vin said it well in his comments, Micah said it well in his comments, but we, on behalf of SLT, appreciate how you do what you do. Thank you. And we now have 165 Piaa graduate portrait participants. Mrs. Kirk filled it out at 8:03. Congratulations. So, you're on the team.
Thank you. I'll just want to mention from the IU, we continue with our executive director search, and I spent most of the day Saturday with my fellow board members interviewing. And it was a long day, but it was tremendous because it gave us a chance over an extended period of time with people we don't always talk to talk about the IU, talk about the mission and direction of the organization. So it was very productive, and I'm confident that we will have a decision on that position in a timely fashion this year. I would also mention, just to embarrass Dr. Miller, it's really hard to meet with a group of people in Western PA and talk about excellence in educational leadership and not have his name come up more often than you would realize. It's tremendous to share and have a depth of experience to share with that board, with directors from school boards, across the county, and try to hope that there's some relevance to our experience, which I think there is. But I just want to say that for you, boss.
Thank you.
Any other updates? Item 10.02 is recognition of visitors. The board will adjourn to meet in executive session to discuss school safety, security, a personnel matter, and a student matter. Have a good evening, everyone.